Our third speaker, code 3664, with a program entitled The Game of Justice.
Welcome to the Game of Justice, the game where your fate is designed for you. Choose your character. I raised my kids on the story of David and Goliath. Now David was this tiny little man, and he defeated this big old giant Goliath with some smooth little stones. All because he had faith in them. Faith. Ain't afraid of no giant man, and David knew that. That's why he wasn't afraid. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. Hey y'all, I'm Lena Baker. A lot of people ask me why I choose to represent those on death row. People of color account for a disproportionate 43% of total executions in the United States, and 55% of those currently awaiting execution. Oftentimes I ask myself, if I don't represent them, who will? I go into jury duty tomorrow. You know what else was supposed to happen tomorrow? Oh, me and Sparky. We're supposed to get our nails done. I mean, first you cancel our spa day, and now you want me to go and decide whether or not a minority is lying on trial? I mean, we know the answer. Currents flow through every vein. Each voltage a reminder of your fate. Guilty is your verdict, and your screams will clean your slate. Can you feel the electricity? Now, character chosen, Lena Baker, selected. From the routine hanging of slaves for simply picking cotton too slowly, to the 1973 Tuskegee experimentations on Black men, to the present day, where Black bodies are being used as target practice, it is clear that Black lives are treated as a game in this white justice system. This is especially seen in the case of the death penalty, which has been used to execute copious amounts of innocent Black lives since its very creation. The Death Penalty Information Center reports that since 1973, there have been 186 exonerations of people put to death, only to be found innocent years later. Of those 186 innocent lives, 100 of them were Black. For too long, we have been forced to back this system that has done nothing but destroy us. And it is time that we, the jurors, the people, take our role seriously as we fight to win this game of life or death once and for all. Through the prose Race and the Death Penalty from the ACLU, amusing jury duty stories found on Fluther.com and Justice Game by E.J. Rocker. The article's Persistence of Racism in the U.S. Death Penalty, Methods of Execution and Innocence from the Death Penalty Information Center. The drama The Lena Baker Story, and the poetry Corruption by Gabriel Ibekunle and Electrocution by Michael Gagain. The Game of Justice, a program, because Black lives cannot be respawned. And when the systems in place aim to treat us as nothing more than a simulation, we must learn how to beat the system. Our systems detect that your character poses a threat to the game. We will have no choice but to eliminate you. Our system detects that your character believes that we are withholding something from you. We assure you, this game is fair. I used to work on a mill for this man called Mr. Arthur. Mr. Arthur was a mean man, and he wasn't much for listening. Rule number 1, to win the game, you must choose the right character. Once you have selected a character, you cannot change their fate. I was walking into the courtroom when I saw the black defendant on trial. Automatically, the room smelled of rap music and deceit. I sit down and hold my dog close. This could get dangerous. The modern-day death penalty is a direct descendant of slavery, lynching, and Jim Crow segregation. During slavery, capital punishment was a tool for controlling black populations and curbing rebellion. Sometimes he'd lock me in that mill. It had to be about 500 degrees during the day, but he would make me drink till I didn't even know what day it was, and I'd tell him I have to leave. I have to get home to my children, and he'd say, there ain't nowhere you can run that I won't catch you. Rule number 2, some characters are born to die. If our systems detect your character poses a threat to the game, we'll have no choice but to eliminate you. A monster that refuses to die. A shame that lingers on, a menace to society, insulated against electrocution. Your people are a plague to be wiped out. The Supreme Court has never found a method of execution to be unconstitutional. There are 5 primary means in the United States: hanging, lethal injection, gas chambers, firing squads, and electrocution. But sometimes it is as simple as a verdict. Fear burns in my ears when the defendant says, I had been at the mill with Mr. Arthur for 3 days. It was Sunday, and I was supposed to go to church with my mama and my kids. But Mr. Arthur didn't want me to. He said he'd gonna kill me if I tried to leave, so I told him, why don't you just take the chain and the bar off the door so I can go home? All I want is to see my children. Mr. Arthur. Mr. Arthur, who is gonna feed my children? He grabs me and put the gun to my face. And I told him, just do it. If you let me out this door, I ain't never coming back. We tossed over the gun. I shot him. I didn't mean to shoot him. I just wanted to come home. Characters like you were derived from hell, but you can't see it. Your mind is disguised to you as a daydream. Why is it that black people have to fight to live? All these black bodies drop in the name of justice, and we are forced to back this system that fails us every day. This courtroom does not know what justice is. System malfunction. I will repeat the rules one final time. Rule number 1, where is Purvis Payne's justice? You cannot change fate. Troy Davis, Larry Griffin. Rule number 2, Julius Jones, George Stinney, Eddie Howard. Lena Baker has been sentenced to death by electrocution for the murder of Elliot Arthur. Any last words? Have you ever heard the story of David and Goliath? Faith ain't afraid of no giant man, and David knew that. That's why he wasn't afraid. and neither am I. What I did in self-defense, or I would have been killed myself. Where I was, I could not overcome, but God has forgiven me. I'm ready to go. I am one in the number, and I have a very strong conscience. Isn't it funny how bodies like yours must burn to be free? We short-circuit your brain to keep the rest in check. 6 minutes. It took 6 minutes of electric shock to kill Lena Baker. 60 years after her execution, Lena Baker was officially pardoned by the state of Georgia. Character error. Though you planned to win, our system detected your character was doomed from the start. But there is still time. Do you wish to win the game? Our lives are not a game to be won. We are not your test subjects, and we will not lose another heartbeat to your sadistic system. Because when the outcome is the death of innocent people, I refuse to play. We have to refuse to play. Threat detected. Erasing memory. There's not much time left. And in a second, you can be given a choice. A choice to let hatred win, or to stand by what's right and fight to make a change. We can always begin again. One case at a time. Choose wisely. Welcome to the game of justice. The game where your fate is designed for you. Choose your character.